A month ago, Ayub, and I'm telling you this from information, the Djibouti candidate in their strategy picked a few prominent people, picked bloggers with influences of over 1 million. You remember, like the South African lady, picked people who appear in the various media to campaign Raila, okay, and to talk about how Raila cannot get this thing.
Today morning, there's been an interview on Citizen TV hosted by Abdi Kadir. And on this interview, we have this Homa Bay Town MP, Peter Kalume. And Peter Kalume is complaining and has accused Djibouti's candidate, Mohamed Al Yusuf, of bribing bloggers and media channels in Kenya to campaign for him against Raila Odinga. You know, these guys are in shock. You know, this Peter Kalume is always mouthy. He always talks too much. And actually, since ODM joining the government, he has been unstoppable when it comes to mouthing. One thing for sure, this MP is an non-performer. This MP is very angered with the way Mahmoud Ali has been receiving praise all over the internet and also on the media channels. And him complaining that the media and bloggers have been hired to campaign for Ali, Mahmoud Ali of Djibouti instead of Raila. Just so weird, because they have had that state support. William Ruto has moved with Raila everywhere to campaign with him in major cities, in major countries, as compared to when we had a candidate some few years ago where Uhuru Kenyatta was campaigning for our candidate. Uhuru Kenyatta didn't even move around the way Ruto has moved around or financed Raila campaigns for the AUC seat. First, let's listen to him and let's listen to what he's complaining about.
Let me tell you, Ayub, in a campaign like this, I can tell you even the Djibouti guy, while pretending they're talking other issues, are everywhere in the media, including on this front. What I wanted to say,
is it an allegation that you can prove?
Yeah, I know.
You have 3 guests on
I can tell you. Yeah. So let me. Okay. I've not mentioned you. Why are you profiling yourself?
That's a profound statement.
No, Ayub, don't cut me.
Can you prove it?
Don't cut me.
But can you prove your allegation?
There is a reason, Ayub.
You said
now keep quiet. I prove it. Then.
What are you saying?
Yeah, please, go ahead. Yeah.
Ayub, you are also turning hostile.
No, I'm just being.
Yeah. So when you ask a question, let me respond to you.
Because you're making profound allegations.
From a month ago.
Cannot go and
from a month ago.
Yes.
I'm responding. Don't intervene.
Yes, please.
From a month ago, Ayub, and I'm telling you this from information, the Djibouti candidate in their strategy picked a few prominent people, picked bloggers with influences of over 1 million. You remember, like the South African lady, picked people who appear in the various media to campaign Raila, okay, and to talk about how Raila cannot get this thing. And this thing was to be on the social media platform. It was to be on the mainstream media. I can tell you the scheme in Kenya was to portray the country as unstable, the person supporting Raila as somebody who is not even respected as a president, and Raila as a person, rejected by his country, and Raila's party as shaky. So you've seen for the last 1 month, Abdikadir and Ayub. You'll see the main news item of all media, not just in Kenya. It's about ODM is divided, broad-based government, Ruto negative this, and it has been going. So I may not say much here, but I'm not surprised that as a Kenyan we can stake our neck and say Raila should not get it or Raila cannot get it. Let us talk about the issues around the election, what may be considered, and our prayer as a country for Raila, and we leave it at that.
Okay. You have just had him full of arrogance, anger, frustration. And one thing you can see that these guys are very frustrated. These guys, they have just realized that this seat has gone. They have seen all the signs that Raila Odinga may likely lose this election. You can hear him. You can hear the tone. You can feel the frustration. And all these, they are just creating side shows so that in future, after Saturday, when the voting will be done, if Raila loses the AUC seat, they can now bring this on the table and say, okay, Raila Odinga did his best and he lost it because of Mahmoud paying the media and the bloggers to campaign for him. Has Raila Odinga and the government of Kenya, led by Ruto, not hired bloggers? Because there are several bloggers who have been writing very good articles, good posts about Raila's credibility for this job. And Raila himself, yesterday, admitted that he might lose the seat. And this admission came during the prayer session at Nairobi, where he had congregated ODM members and several other leaders who had turned up to pray for him ahead of the voting day. And Raila Odinga said this: nikishinda ni sawa, nisiposhinda ni sawa. You can just feel it. Yes, Raila himself has sensed the defeat. Also, let's listen to what Raila said during the press session that seems to him feeling nervous about
viongozi wote wa bara la Afrika.
The voting that is coming ahead.
Ukikubali nitakuwa mwenyekiti wa chama cha baraza kuu la African Union. So wakakubali. Kura itapigwa Jumamosi hii ambayo inakuja. Sio? Mimi naenda. Si mimi naenda. Nikichaguliwa sawa. Nisipochaguliwa sawa. Sivyo? Si mimi niko na nyumbani kwetu. Kwa hivyo mimi natoa shukrani sana kwenu kwa kuniombea mimi.
Walai, everything is just turning easy. But despite this ODM wagon Peter Kalume, yes, has praised Raila Odinga so much. Yes, we can give credit here of some of the things that in this debate, the video that you're going to watch next shortly, we can see that Peter Kalume is praising Raila Odinga, and he has really given him much credit. But others are just hot air, rumors. We have to admit Raila is a good candidate to win this seat. He has the credibility, he has the capacity to clinch this seat. Okay? And yes, some of the things that Kalume has raised, yes, on the development, yes, we have that track record, the history of Raila on development can be seen during the Kibaki's regime. But now, this Kalume is claiming that the developments done during the Kibaki's regime, during the after 2007 election, because now when we had Nusumkate government, so now Peter Kalume is saying Kibaki could never deliver such things. He claims that those were ideas of Raila Amolo Odinga. Okay? So one thing is just trying to say that we should not give credit to Mwai Kibaki and give the credits to Raila Odinga. Yes, Raila Odinga has performed well. Yes, we know, like being like a Pan-Africanist. Yes, Raila has really fought for the democracy of the African people and something like that. But they're still doubting this because this man is just praising. Yani, these praises are just beyond even Raila's true character or a true figure portrayed in reality. But let's listen to him.
Peter Pondo, about 3 months ago, you were satisfied beyond reasonable doubt that President William Ruto has staged a campaign to push Odinga's candidature. This morning, are you still convinced that he has done enough for Odinga to win?
Yeah, let me say Raila's campaigns have gone very well. In fact, it has been one of the best. I don't know a single head of state in Africa who has not been met or asked for votes. I really do not know this single state Raila has not visited, either alone or with the president. And so if we were to look at it in terms of campaigns, in terms of the vision, he has, Raila's ideals. Sit with Raila even for 5 minutes when we do so, and he'll very easily jump out of Kenya to talk about what would benefit another country in Africa. His knowledge about African states, their history and continents is quite deep. And by the way, when he talks about it, it is not something artificial. It is also not something he's starting during this time he's bidding to chair the African Union Commission. But he's somebody who understands Africa very well. Raila has served as the High Representative in charge of infrastructure in Africa. Raila's history in Kenya initially, as an opposition leader, at times also as a government official, Minister for Energy. The reforms he brought when he was in the Ministry of Energy. In fact, people forget. But these things like REREC, Rural Electrification Program, and these other electricity infrastructure, lighting up Kenya, was his vision. What Raila did thereafter as the Minister for Roads and Infrastructure. And Ayub, our young people again forget. Yeah. But if you see the bypasses in Nairobi, if you see Thika Road, people now forget that these were done during Raila's time. And people forget that even at the time, Raila was coming up with the idea of doing the Thika Road to do all it, so that people can, enter town easily and leave, town after business back to their, areas of residences. So many people from, along that road sued Raila in court. And at that time, Raila was demolishing their properties, all over. Today, of course, you'll hear accolade to President Kibaki, taking away the fact that these were the ideas of Raila. You see the impact of the expressway, and they were all designed at that time. So I want to say that in that history, Ayub, Raila has built, networks. You see how comfortable he is when he meets the heads of states and presidents. They're essentially peers. For the first time, Professor Juang will tell you that the matter of who becomes the AUC chairperson is being discussed globally. I mean, we had elections last time. It was never an issue even our great media station, Citizen, yeah? I don't know when it was debated.
We had a comprehensive discussion and coverage around
maybe one and off. But for the first time, you see the world gripped. And you see Ahmed saying, even Trump may be interested. All regions of Africa are pushing an interest. And this does not speak merely to AUC.
Okay.
But it speaks to the clout of the person called Raila Amolo Odinga,
okay,
and the impact it takes in. So to answer your question straight,
yes,
I want to signal my gratitude to people, whether Kenyans across Africa and across the world, who have stood with Raila in this bid for his vision. And in that regard, let me thank, in a very utmost way, the President of the Republic of Kenya. To support a person you just competed with in the manner he has is something to appreciate.
All right.
And people keep importing politics. But I can tell you,
yes,
to me, he has done well. And whatever happens, and I'm saying whatever happens, because ultimately it is our desire and optimism that Prime Minister Raila Odinga wins this bid.
Thank you.
But I'm saying whatever happens, because it is still an election.
Okay.
We hope for the best, but we remain, eternally grateful in gratitude.
Thank you, guys. Now you have listened to this guy and listened to both parties. But I would like to know your opinion. What do you think? Will Raila win this seat? Ama hii ataionea view sasa? Because the ground is hot. They have done the campaign for almost a year now. And now the time to do the voting has finally come. Just 2 days to go. Today we are on Thursday. Is it Thursday? On Wednesday. So we have Thursday and Friday. Then the election will be conducted on Saturday. So let me hear your opinion. Will Raila win or will Raila lose? And whether Raila winning or losing, does it have any impact to the people of Kenya? Let me hear your thoughts at the comment section. Thank you.